last and the most important part of this chapter, sustainable development, because that is the only way you can prevent environmental degradation. Sustainable development. Sustainable development refers to development process that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising on the ability of future generations to meet their respective needs. आपकी नीड है, ठंड लग रही है, पेड़ काटो, आग लगाए, तो आपने आज की आग तो बुझा ली बेटा, गर्मी हो गई, ठंड से बच गए, बट आपने फ्यूचर स्पॉइल कर दिया अपना। आपको कोई और तरीका ढूंढना चाहिए था, कोई शेडेड रीजन ढूंढ लेते, कुछ भी लेते कि पेड़ काटना एक सस्टेनेबल तरीका, कब तक पेड़ काटते जाओगे? तो सस्टेनेबल मेथड कोई ऐसा होगा किसी भी चीज का जो कंसिस्टेंटली लॉन्ग रन में भी यूज किया जाए। सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, एग्जैक्ट डेफिनेशन, द प्रोसेस that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising on the ability of the future generations to meet their respective needs. You are not compromising on the ability of the future generations to meet the needs. उस तरीके से रिसोर्सेज को यूज करना कि उनके लिए वो एक्सटिंक्ट ना हो जाए। The basic aim of sustainable development is to ensure that the present generation should leave stock of quality of life for the next generation, which is no less than what they have inherited. The present generation has inherited something, or the state of environment, what they have inherited should be not less than what they transfer to the future generations. आपने क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ जी रहे हो तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि फ्यूचर जनरेशन को जो आप ट्रांसफर करेंगे क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, इट शुड नॉट बी लेस देन व्हाट यू आर एंजॉयिंग। वी हैव इनहेरिटेड द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ which is less than what it was 50 years back because of massive industrialization. हमारी advantages बहुत सारी है, technology, yes, we are using much advanced technology what the previous generation has used, but talking about environment, degraded environment के लिए pollution levels high हैं, water polluted है, तो हर एक चीज का एक cost है ना। Environmentalists have used the term sustainability in an attempt to clarify the desired balance between economic growth on one hand and environmental preservation on the other. For economists, a development path is sustainable if the stock of overall capital assets remains constant or rises over time. The term sustainable development has its origin in the International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources 1980 World Commission Strategy Report. वहां पे term originate हुई। Sustainable development is the development which will allow all future generations to have a potential average quality of life that is at least as high as which is being enjoyed by the current generation. Sustainable development is a development which meets the basic needs, employment, food, energy, water, housing of all people, particularly the poor people. It ensures growth of agriculture, manufacturing, and service sector to meet these needs. Sustainable development. It refers to the development process that meets the needs of present generation without compromising on the ability of the future generations to meet their respective needs. So, sustainable development aims at equitable, sustainable and equitable use of resources to meet the needs of present and future generations without causing damage to the environment, to prevent further damage to our life supporting systems, to conserve and nurture biodiversity and other resources for long-term food security. Aim, meaning, and how to achieve sustainable development. Sustainable development can be achieved if we strictly follow the 5 given rules. Number 1, restrict use of renewable resources. Renewable resources should be extracted on a sustainable basis. कह रहे जब वो renewable हैं तो खत्म तो नहीं होंगे. Only if the rate of extraction is less than the rate of resource regeneration, तब नहीं खत्म होंगे. If the rate of extraction is more than the rate of resource regeneration, तो वो भी extinct हो जाएंगे, चाहे वो renewable थे. Restrict the use of renewable resources. Renewable resources should be extracted on a sustainable basis. That means the rate of extraction should not exceed the rate of regeneration. Substitute non-renewable with renewable resources. As non-renewable resources are depleted, non-renewable तो non-replenishable है, वो तो एक बार एग्जॉस्ट हो गए तो खत्म ही हो गए ना. तो सब्स्टिट्यूट नॉन रिन्यूएबल विद रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. कुछ लोग इसको मिस इंटरप्रेट करते हैं. रिस्ट्रिक्ट यूज ऑफ रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज कि रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज को कम यूज करो, नॉन रिन्यूएबल को ज्यादा यूज करो. प्लीज, इंटरप्रिटेशन गलत हो गई ना. कर सकते हैं ना कि अगर ढंग से नहीं पता हो कि क्या बात हो रही है, रिस्ट्रिक्ट करो इसका यूज, इसका मतलब इसका कम करो, उसका ज्यादा करो. वो रॉन्ग इंटरप्रिटेशन हो गई. रिस्ट्रिक्ट द यूज ऑफ रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज का मतलब है कंट्रोल्ड यूजेज करो. द रेट ऑफ एक्सट्रैक्शन शुड बी लेस, इट शुड बी बिलो द रेट ऑफ रीजनरेशन. वो कहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कंट्रोल्ड यूजेज करो. नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज को रिस्ट्रिक्ट करो, उसको सब्स्टिट्यूट करो विद रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज आर डिप्लीटेड. As they are depleted, renewable substitutes must be developed so as to maintain the flow of services over time. It means rate of depletion of non-renewable resources should not exceed the rate of creation of renewable substitutes. Become input efficient. Technological progress should be made to become input efficient and not input consuming. So what do you mean by input efficient? It means effort should be made to produce more per unit of input. Input efficient, same inputs, अब ज़्यादा output produce कर पाएंगे, तो input efficiency has increased. It will reduce the exploitation of resources. Same production के लिए अब आपको कम inputs चाहिए होंगे अगर input efficiency enhance हो गई है. Control pollution. Pollution emissions should be limited to the absorption capacity of the environment. अब देख रहे हो कैसे वो carrying capacity की चीजें यूज हो रही हैं. 2 एलिमेंट्स थे, एक रेट ऑफ रिसोर्स एक्सट्रैक्शन और एक ऑपरेटिंग विद इन द कैरिंग कैपेसिटी. तो इंपॉर्टेंट है ये absorption capacity of the environment. Control the growth of population. The growth of human population should be controlled to a level which is within the carrying capacity of the environment. In 2015, UN formulated 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, intended to be achieved by the year 2030. So important है 5 rules of achieving sustainable development. Number 1, restrict the use of renewable resources. Substitute non-renewable with renewable resources, become input efficient, control pollution, and control the growth of population. So these are the rules of achieving sustainable development. What are the strategies? Based on these rules, there have been some strategies for sustainable development. Number 1, use of non-conventional sources of energy. India is hugely dependent on thermal and hydropower plants to meet its power needs, but both these resources have adverse environmental impacts. Non-conventional sources like wind energy, solar rays are cleaner and greener energy systems, but are not yet been explored on a large scale due to lack of technological devices. बट अब धीरे धीरे इनका यूजेज बढ़ता जा रहा है, जैसे जैसे सोलर पैनल्स की कॉस्ट कम होती जा रही है, ज्यादा लोग उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर पा रहे हैं। बोले तो इतना कॉस्टली होता है ना यार, सब थोड़ी ना अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं। बट कुछ स्टेट्स हैं जहाँ मैंडेटरी हो गया कि अगर आप घर नया बना रहे हैं तो आपका सोलर पैनल होना। चंडीगढ़ में मैंडेटरी है कि अगर वहां पे आप घर बना रहे हैं तो आपका सोलर पैनल होना मैंडेटरी है। तो use of non-conventional, promoting use of non-conventional sources of energy. In areas with high speed of wind, windmills can provide electricity without adverse impact on the environment. India is naturally endowed with a large quantity of solar energy in the form of sunlight. With the help of photovoltaic cells, solar energy can be converted into electricity. Both the sources, wind power and solar rays, are totally free from pollution. Although their initial cost is high, but benefits are such that the high cost gets easily absorbed. But मैं कह रहा हूँ high cost भी अब धीरे धीरे कम होती जा रही है, because as the technology advances, the cost reduces. The cost reduces. तो जो चीज पहले महंगी होती थी वो धीरे धीरे सस्ती, क्योंकि उसकी सप्लाई बढ़ रही है। इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स अभी महंगी हैं, 5 साल के बाद थोड़ी ना इतनी महंगी होंगी, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी एडवांस हो चुकी होगी, तो अब वो कॉमन चीज हो चुकी होगी। इकोनॉमीज ऑफ लार्ज स्केल प्रोडक्शन होनी शुरू हो जाती है। तो यूज ऑफ नॉन कन्वेंशनल सोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी, यूज ऑफ क्लीनर फ्यूल्स इन अर्बन एरियाज, use of CNG is being promoted to be used as fuel. In Delhi, use of CNG in public transport has significantly, public transport में तो mandatory है, कमर्शियल व्हीकल्स में मैंडेटरी है, इन द सेंस कि वो टैक्सीज हो गई, आपकी बसेस हो गई, उनके लिए सीएनजी मैंडेटरी है. इट हैज सिग्निफिकेंटली रिड्यूस्ड एयर पॉल्यूशन. In rural areas, households generally use wood, dung cake, or other biomass as fuel. These fuels have several adverse implications like deforestation, reduction in green cover, wastage of cattle dung, and air pollution. To overcome this problem, use of LPG and gobar gas is being promoted as they are cleaner fuels and help in reducing household pollution to a large extent. Use of cleaner fuels, use of non-conventional sources of energy, establishment of mini hydel plants in mountainous regions. Perpetual streams can be found almost everywhere. These streams can be used to generate electricity via turbines through a mini hydel plant. Such power plants are more or less environmental friendly and generate enough power to meet the local demand. एक्स्ट्रा पावर नहीं जनरेट कर पाएंगे कि आप पावर आगे सप्लाई भी करें, बट लोकल डिमांड मीट हो जाएगी. तो जो घरों में सोलर पैनल लगे होते हैं उनके भी बस इतना ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है कि उनके घर की इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट हो जाए उससे, और अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. Moreover, large scale transmission towers and cables are also not required in such plants. क्योंकि नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि जहाँ पावर जनरेशन हो रही है वहाँ ट्रांसमिशन केबल्स होती हैं बड़ी बड़ी, क्योंकि उनको पावर ट्रांसमिट करनी है, सप्लाई करनी है. फिर तो लोकल डिमांड के लिए ना, तो कोई बड़ी बड़ी TND, ट्रांसमिशन एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन केबल्स नहीं चाहिए होती. Establishment of mini hydel plants to make them self-sustainable. Traditional knowledge and practices. Traditionally, Indian people have been close to their environment. All practices relating to agriculture system, healthcare system, housing, transport, etc. used to be environmental friendly. पहले ज़्यादा environmental friendly techniques होती थी. तो traditional knowledge and practices आप explore करें. The shift from traditional systems has caused large-scale damage to the environment and to our rural heritage. For example, India is well known for its Ayush treatment, with about 15,000 species of plants which have medicinal properties. However, with the advent of Western system of treatment, we ignore our traditional systems of Ayurveda, Unani, etc. These old systems are environmental friendly, relatively free from side effects, and do not involve large-scale industrial and chemical processes. Use of biocompost. The use of chemical fertilizers to increase the agricultural production has not only adversely affected the large areas of productive land, but also contaminated the water bodies. Due to the use of chemical fertilizers, the demand for irrigation has been going up year after year. The demand for water increases. With the rise in the demand for organic food, farmers have again started using biocompost. तो वापस जा रहे हैं, मतलब सोचो HYV सीड्स आई थी, वो एक रेवोल्यूशन था, कह रहे वो फेल हो गया, मतलब वो सस्टेनेबल नहीं, मतलब उसकी कॉस्ट बहुत हाई, अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट बहुत हाई, एनवायरमेंटल कॉस्ट बहुत हाई, तो पीपल आर गोइंग बैक टू ऑर्गेनिक फूड. That is compost made from organic waste of different types. Biocomposting refers to the process of converting organic waste of various types into natural manure. Instead of using chemical fertilizers, biocomposting. In certain parts of the country, cattle are maintained only because they produce dung, which is an important fertilizer and soil conditioner. Use of biocompost. Control of biopest, कीड़ा लग जाना आपके farm produce को. The advent of green revolution has increased the use of chemical pesticides, which not only contaminates the food products but also pollutes the water bodies nearby. जब पानी high irrigation facilities रहते हैं कि बार बार उसकी cleaning की जरूरत होती है क्योंकि chemicals बहुत ज्यादा हैं, फिर जब पानी फ्लो करेगा तो वो केमिकल साथ ही तो लेके जा रहा है. इट इज कंटामिनेटिंग द वाटर बॉडीज नियर बाय. टू मीट दिस चैलेंज, बेटर मेथड्स ऑफ पेस्ट कंट्रोल आर प्रमोटेड. फॉर एग्जांपल, नीम बेस्ड पेस्टिसाइड्स आर एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली एंड फ्री फ्रॉम साइड इफेक्ट्स. In addition, awareness is being created for use of various animals and birds like snakes, lizards, owls, peacocks as natural pest controllers. Mixed cropping and growing different crops in consecutive years on the same land have also helped farmers. Control of biocompost. Change in unsustainable patterns of consumption and production. With increasing purchasing power, wasteful consumption linked to market-driven consumerism is stressing the resource base of developing countries further. Affluent consumption patterns. It is important to counter this through education and public awareness. Don't do wasteful expenditures. Itni zarurat hai, utna hi consume kar. In several areas, desirable limits and standards for consumption and production need to be established and applied through appropriate mechanisms, including education incentives and legislation. The government of India has taken large number of steps for sustainable development. The given strategies, if strictly implemented and followed, will definitely prevent further degradation of environment so that natural resources remain a common heritage for future generations also. बहुत ही ज़्यादा most important part of this chapter is sustainable development. But sustainable development में जो भी आपके aim, आपके rules कह लो, strategies कह लो, they are based on what we have studied already in this chapter. काफी चीजें repetition है, but the way they are being used, that is important. कि आप answer, quality answer तभी दे पाएंगे जब आप proper words, proper headings use करें. वरना तो कहानी सुन लिया आपने, आप अपनी मर्जी से कहानी बनाते हैं तो marks नहीं मिलते हैं, आधे पौने मिलते हैं. Proper sequencing, proper heading, keywords, the language, the quality of your answer is very, very important. So use technical language, keywords used in the chapter. इसी के साथ chapter समाप्त.